Welcome, everybody, to the Shero Live. I'm Beth Shero, the CEO and co-founder of Shero Commerce. Thank you all for joining today. Exciting topic. We're going to talk a little bit about spring cleaning and how to optimize your website and improve conversions. So obviously, there's so much that we can cover here. We really wanted to focus in and talk about one of the solutions that we used for CRO and bring on one of our clients that has seen great results from it. So we'll be bringing in some guests shortly. Quick update before we jump in. Shop Talk was this week, so you may have seen a couple of our team members, Richmond and Gentian, out in Vegas. So we'll be excited to see what they can share when they come back. Shop Talk's always a great event, so love to always bring in those insights that they've taken away from that event. And just kind of slowly going into the topic here before we bring in our guest. Obviously, as you're thinking about your spring cleaning and your website optimization, it's more than CRO. It's also thinking about, how to optimize your images, your page speed, and just really like kind of going back to basics and evaluating what's going on and impacting your speed. Are there apps on there that you no longer use, but impacting the speed, for example? So there's a lot of different simple things that you can do to actually clean up your site. And we call it spring cleaning just because it's a fun thing in the spring, but this is something you should be doing all the time. So super excited to dive into today's topic. And we have Nick, the head of marketing at Shoplift, joining us. And he specializes in conversion rate optimization. And we also have Jasmine, the CEO of Invisible Bead Extensions, one of our great clients, and we love working with them. She is an amazing woman that has done a great job with their business. And I'm excited to hear her insights about how she's run the business and gotten to this point. And it's just a great opportunity, since we are in Women's History Month, to have a great guest like Jasmine. So without further ado, let's bring in our guests.
Hello.
Hello, welcome, Jasmine and Nick. How are you doing today?
Great. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I know everybody's so busy, so I love whenever we can get important people in the room. Awesome. So before we kind of dive in, I'd love for you all to introduce yourself. Maybe Nick, you want to introduce yourself and Shoplift, and then we'll have Jasmine introduce herself.
Beth, thanks so much for having me. Excited to talk shop. My name is Nick Selman. I lead marketing at an app called Shoplift, shoplift.ai. Shoplift is the world's best A/B testing platform, CRO platform for Shopify stores. We have thousands of merchants, Shopify merchants, who use Shoplift every day to A/B test and optimize their websites. We're also the only A/B testing platform that is Shopify Plus certified. So that's certification handpicked by Shopify. Only about 0.1% of all apps in the Shopify App Store earn this designation. So we're super proud of that.
Okay.
And we're also lucky enough to count Jasmine and her brand as one of our customers. And we're super excited to talk about that a little bit more.
Awesome. Thank you, Nick. And Jasmine, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you so much for having me on. I'm Jasmine Hadgis, the CEO of Invisible Bead Extensions. It was founded in 2019 by Mackenzie Turley, and she created a way of installing hair extensions that is safe and durable and comfortable, and then coined digital education before COVID. And so the business had already had massive success, but I relocated here from Iowa to run the company on the back end. And as she continued to grow another brand that she has called Goldilocks, just having more leadership roles. And it's been very, very fun for me to be on this side of the business. I was actually a user of Invisible Bead Extensions as a stylist for many years behind the chair. But coming onto this side of the business has been really quite fulfilling. And being able to, network with people like you guys here and experience the technology growth with Shopify has been very, very good for me and the business.
Amazing. I love that. And I, similar background a little bit, I worked my way up, sort of speak, to CEO as well. So I always love and respect that. It takes a lot to really understand the business. And I think if you've worked in it, it's a lot easier because you're so in touch with what your people are having to deal with or what the customers are expecting, things like that. And I love that, obviously you're in a great vertical for women, but a lot of your team, or I think all of your team, are all women. So
almost all, yeah.
yeah. So proud of everything you've all accomplished, and more power to the women, sort of thing. It's great to celebrate, and we are WeBank certified as well. So I just love to elevate and celebrate you all and the accomplishments you've had, because there are a lot of challenges, right? So love to hear that story and how you got started. So thank you for sharing. And it's just inspiring, and it's great. I'm excited to hear your vision and how what we're going to talk about today has helped your business.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. So, Nick kind of introduced Shoplift, but I think it would be good for us to kind of just dig in to start just a little bit more about how does Shoplift work, and like where do you begin, right? So we have a couple of slides. So Nick, do you want to kind of just talk through this a little bit so people that maybe have never heard of Shoplift can get a feel of how they can use the platform? It's so easy and integrated with Shopify. It's kind of a no-brainer, but I think it'd be useful for everyone to hear your thoughts on this and kind of walk them through what it looks like to be a Shoplift customer.
Yeah, absolutely. A shoplifter, as we
Yes,
call
which is a little bit. I was like, that's scary in a way.
I'm not a brand marketer, but I always tell people if like 80% of people love our brand and 20% hate it, then I know I'm doing my job.
Yes, that's very true. I actually commented to one of our teammates about it. I was like, that's strange, but I get it.
Yes,
it's true.
Yes.
You need to have a healthy amount of haters.
Yes.
My grandmas were alive today, they would probably both hate this brand. Yeah. So look, I hate, standing up in front of everyone and reading off slides, but just a couple of quick things to know about Shoplift. Kind of already mentioned, Shoplift is the world's easiest way to do A/B testing on your Shopify store. It's one-click install from the Shopify App Store. So all you have to do is go to the App Store, type in Shoplift, and get started. It does a lot of really sophisticated things on the back end that's like way above my pay grade in terms of how it learns your store, learns your brand, ingests all your homepage, product pages, collection pages. It just like ingests all this information. And I'll get to this in a later slide, but essentially, the reason why we are the easiest way to get started with A/B testing is because it will actually spit out that we have this part of our app called Lift Assist. It will actually create these sections for your site that are pixel perfect to your brand. And they're essentially like tests in a box that you can launch today.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
So I'll get to that slide in a second. A lot of times people come to us and you're kind of in one of two camps. You've either like done A/B testing before, maybe you came from like the Google optimized days where it's just really clunky to get a test set up. It's there's a lot of code involved. God forbid you run an A/B test that works out. Now you have to figure out like, okay, how do I actually code this into my store?
You feel my pain, Nick. You feel my pain.
Like,
so we get right. It's crazy. So we get these folks who come to us and they're just like, oh, I hate A/B testing. It's such a drag. It's so hard to do. It's so expensive. You never actually get this, like the payback in real life. It's all just numbers on a page. And for us, our job is to help them understand how just easy it is to not only get started, not only run a test, but also one click apply variant. And now those changes are live in your store without you ever having to touch any code.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-boggling. Good tech. Good job, Nick. Nick's team.
Not me. I just get to tell the stories. So if you're in that camp, that's what I try to encourage folks to do is just give it a try. We get a 14-day free trial. I promise we will sort of break all of your bad feelings about A/B testing and CRO that Google Optimize and others have built up in you over time. And then there's this other camp of folks who are like, okay, A/B testing sounds interesting, like optimizing my store. Why wouldn't I want to do that?
Yeah.
like maybe you've never done A/B testing before, or maybe you've like tried, but it just kind of went over your head because it's not where you came from.
Yeah.
And the reason why I love Shoplift so much for that particular audience is because we do make it so easy to, we recommend these ideas for you to test, or you hire Beth's agency to come and run these tests for you. And, it just is so easy to get started. And gone are the days of spending tens of thousands of dollars just to get one test off the ground.
Yeah.
Either of those sound like you, we got a free trial waiting for you all. And if we click through some of these slides, I'm going to go quick. I promise I'll go quicker through some of these things. This slide just talks about it's a very lightweight app. It does not impact the performance of your site. It integrates directly with your Shopify theme. So it's basically taking all of the information that already lives in your Shopify theme and just uses that to run the tests, as opposed to layering all this clunky code on your site that crushes performance.
Yeah.
And then you can do some really powerful, sophisticated, but simple things. Like maybe I want to run a test only targeted at my returning visitors, or maybe I want to only run a test targeted at folks that are coming in from our email marketing. You can get really specific on a lot of this segmentation and personalization. We even have folks who are hacking our platform, running what we call 100-0 tests, where it's like, okay, I want to show a limited time sale. I just want to customize my store for a period of time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a really interesting use case, personalization. And you can do all these things, literally drag and drop, no design, no dev required.
I actually didn't know this.
This is way cool, Jasmine.
I know. I'm like, my mind is spinning right now because this is awesome.
Right? Like we were talking before this live started about all of the things that are kind of on your roadmap that you can't wait to get started on. And this is this is not an uncommon way to feel once you crack Shoplift open, is like, wait, I can do that. And like, oh man, okay, well, we got to finish this one test real quick because I need to learn the results of this so that we can get to this other thing. But it truly is, look, I'm a marketer by background, and I'm not a designer. I'm not a dev by background. And so a lot of these things that were not available to me, as I used to run my own Shopify brand years and years ago. I didn't have Shoplift back then. Shoplift didn't exist back then. And I just couldn't do these things. Well, now you can. And it is this really like simultaneously exciting, but also kind of like anxiety inducing, like, oh, I can't wait to get to do that. Right.
How do I plan the rest of the year now? It's very exciting.
I'm sure Shero can help you with that.
Yes. We can definitely help you, Jasmine. Yeah.
The next slide, again, like if you're used to Google Optimize, where it's like, okay, pick the one metric that you care about, and you're going to run a test targeted at that one metric, that just like throw that idea out the window, right? There are over 600 unique data points in a Shoplift test report that you get for every test that you run. And not only are you going to understand how these tests are impacting mobile visitors versus desktop visitors versus paid social versus organic social, all these different breakdowns of all of your different metrics. We also have the categories most sophisticated prediction engine. And so you're going to actually know, not just like a lot of platforms will tell you, hey, this test has reached statistical significance. You've run it long enough and we know these results to be significant. We can actually tell you when something is trending to be significant or trending not to be significant. So you can actually make decisions earlier and tests earlier, move on with your roadmap earlier. So we're not just allowing you to A/B test very quickly, we're allowing you to actually make business decisions more quickly, which is a huge unlock for businesses like Jasmine's.
There's a testimonial on that for sure. I mean, there was one of our first tests that we did, like the winner was very clear, very, very clear, and pretty much immediate. And then one of the other ones, we were kind of like watching it. It was just like, okay, wait, is it too soon? Like it's trending the same. And we're like, let's give it one more week to see what happens. And it's pretty fun. It's kind of like a game and you don't know when it's going to end.
Yeah. I know, like as business owners, it's like, okay, every dollar matters and we want only winning tests. But like a a guilty pleasure of mine is a losing test, because I just find that you can learn a lot from a losing test. It
Yeah.
allows you to challenge your own assumptions. And
Absolutely.
oftentimes in these really detailed test report pages, you can go in, you can say, all right, well, this test didn't win on the one metric that I cared about, but like, oh, there's something interesting over here, and like how it impacted my subscribers, or how it impacted add to cart rate, or how it, this version engaged visitors better, just didn't convert better. There's something interesting that I need to go explore here. And I actually find that like a winning test is like you apply it and you move on. A losing test almost like generates 10 new ideas of things that you want to test, which is why I like losing tests so much. I don't know why.
Well, I love that. And I think, I mean, simultaneously knowing what to do and what not to do in business are equally valuable. Like you can't just always say, I will do, I will do, I will do. There are so many moments in business where you have to be like, I will not do that. And
Yeah.
it's just as important.
I can't tell you how many times we've talked to brand founders and marketing leaders who say, yeah, we redesigned the whole experience and it tanked conversion. And I was like, well, did you test it? Did you test the old theme versus the new theme? And they're like, why would I do that? The redesign looked better. But that's just not how Shopify business marketers are running today. It's like,
No.
you don't want those unintended consequences of a bad redesign. Just test it.
Well, and this platform makes it so easy, because I'm struggling right now because we have a lot of content built on WordPress right now. And, I feel like you mentioned WordPress and you either love or hate it, for better or for worse. But, the way that our website is built right now, it's really heavy and it's incredibly painful to make any kind of quick tests, because it's just built so heavy, essentially. I mean, and I'm not a developer either, but I'm just like, it's not easy to make a change. And so I'm thrilled to get over to Shopify to maximize our website usage for exactly this. So that way, when I have an idea, it's not just like, oh, it feels good in my mind or it sounds right. It will be backed by data. It will be backed by results for one way or the other.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've experienced too, a lot of assumptions are made, right? And until you see the data, people don't want to believe you. So like to your point, Jasmine, the data is so helpful, like good or bad, just to know if you're on the right track or to prove a point to somebody else, maybe,
Yeah. Can't make the numbers lie.
No, not at all. And then Nick, I know you also, have some out of the box kind of templates, but it's more than that. Do you want to talk about Lift Assist? It seems pretty interesting.
Yeah, totally. Lift Assist is actually, it's kind of hard to explain because it's more than, it goes beyond a template, right? It's going to learn your brand style. It's going to make recommendations that it's based on the things that we know convert based on billions of shopper sessions. And it's almost like a test in a box. So it's going to say, this component that looks like this, styled like this, contains these contents, run it on your homepage in this section with these sorts of test parameters. It's like a test in a box. And so a lot of folks, you get in and you're like, all right, I want to do some CRO, but I don't know where to get started. The answer is Lift Assist. Just go get Lift Assist. It's available on our advanced and pro plans, and it's super, super powerful.
Awesome. That's so cool. Does that use AI then, or like how does it know? Like what's the tech behind it? Do you have any ideas?
I have ideas. You do not want me.
You're like, you want me to talk about it? Okay, we'll skip.
Shoplift.ai for a reason. You definitely do not want me attempting to explain this. It's the people who are way smarter than me are the ones who built Lift Assist. It's pretty fantastic.
All good. All good.
I'm with you, Beth. I'm always like, what's underneath?
Yeah, I want to know. I'm a little nosy. I want to know everything.
Shopify, that's what I tell everyone is like, if you, the number one thing that folks who start using Shoplift say to us is they say, this feels like Shopify built this A/B testing suite.
Oh, that's a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we take great pride in that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what do you see, Nick, in the future? Like, how is CRO evolving now that it's easier and like the trends are changing? what's the vision moving forward with Shoplift, or like how you see people using and optimizing their website? Like, I know you gave that great example of another creative way people are using your platform, but do you have any insights you'd like to share with our audience of like what should they expect, or what should they be thinking about as we evolve in our e-commerce journey?
Yeah. I think the number one thing, and like this is a lot, this is like a play out of the Shopify playbook, right? Which is was built for entrepreneurs. It's democratizing e-commerce and making it so that folks who do not have design and dev backgrounds can sell their things online, right?
Yeah.
And so Shoplift is kind of a microcosm of that. So we're democratizing A/B testing. And so these really sophisticated CRO techniques are being democratized by us and bringing them to the masses, i.e. Shopify merchants, which is a really exciting journey that we're on. The future is it's kind of an interesting question, right? Like you're seeing applications of AI all over the place. They're already responding to our customer support chat tickets on these brand websites. I've actually like been on brand websites where like an AI has literally like upsold me or cross-sold me on a new product. So
Yeah.
it's really fascinating to see AI at work on these Shopify stores. And again, like it's bringing
Done properly, not to interrupt you.
done properly. Yes. Strong asterisk. I think the dream that everyone wants to get to is like a self-optimizing store, right? It's like,
Yeah. Okay. Now we're talking.
right?
Jasmine's like, yes, please.
Yes, that would be amazing.
Don't make me think, don't make me touch it, right? Just like optimize it for me. And I think what's so exciting about AI is that AI, I think up until a point it was like AI, like can AI be as smart as a human in figuring these things out? And I think we're now getting to the point where it's like actually AI knows better than me what is required to convert this visitor. And so I think in the future we're going to start to see, small elements at first, but growing over time is like entire parts of a Shopify store that know, hey, Jasmine, who is this type of shopper, is on our site right now. Just automatically give her these experiences or show her these things or explain, educate her in this way.
Yeah.
And that's going to scientifically, right, convert Jasmine better than the things that, dumb new visitor Nick over here needs like a little bit of a different hand-holding experience from this site.
Yeah. Wow, that sounds amazing.
You're reading Jasmine's mind.
I know. When you say that, Nick, are these things that like Shoplift is actually working on, or you're saying your vision on where like the industry is naturally progressing, it will probably end up that way?
I think it's both.
Sure.
I think they'll probably kill me if I start talking too much about our roadmap, but
Totally fair.
this is and look, I know Shoplift. I'm not naive enough to think that Shoplift is not the only one working on these things.
For sure. Yeah. No, and I appreciate that and totally respect that. I think that is amazing. Just, in a world where AI is going to start to feel for some people more generic, optimizing AI to make it feel more personal is absolutely the goal. I mean, for me, I know that there are some people who are annoyed when, customized ads are coming in. Are they actually listening to me? And I personally have gotten to the point where I'm like, make it work for me. Like, hey, I'm looking for this. Read my voice or read whatever you need to do and give me what I want to make my life better. I can make decisions faster. I can be more efficient and get the things that I want. And so if we can make our customers' experience more personal with AI, then the stigma will start to get reduced and people will understand the value. Because I know there's a lot of apprehension with AI. I'm all for it. I think it's incredible. But if we can make it more personal, I think then that stigma will start to kind of turn the Titanic a little bit.
Yeah, I would second that. And I think we'll also see with the next generations coming in to buy, they're just going to expect different things. They won't even think twice about it. Right.
Totally.
Yeah. Nick, sorry, you were going to say something. I jumped in there.
No, I was going to +1 all of that. Someone this week was explaining to me really well. We've all been part of these like chatbot flows where you know that like there's rules that were hard coded into this chat bot to say if the customer says this, then show them this. And you know, if they're pushing back on this, then show them this. And you know that it's just like a bunch of rules in the background. The future of AI is like, can it kind of diagnose the situation and think like a person? And so like, I think AI implemented well should not feel like a chatbot. It should feel like you're actually talking to a person who is thinking and is
Yeah.
not pushy and is not trying to, you know, push their own agenda. They're just trying to help you solve a problem. So that's like that's good AI, right? Like that's not the robot overlords who are going to control us someday, but the AI that's here to help us and support us and solve our problems and make us better.
That's so true. I agree.
So one more question before we shift gears. Nick, what do you think the biggest challenges are to increase conversion? Like, is it a per brand thing? Is there like a playbook? Do you just literally need to test? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a super interesting question. I mean, I think we all know you can't optimize if you don't test. So at the core of it, it's like just get started, start running tests and learning. So I have kind of an interesting take on this. I think the biggest impediment to optimization is actually it's a strategic one. It's you know because so if you think about what Shopify has done is they've made it so that like me as a brand founder who has a unique product that solves a unique problem for a unique person, all of these stores are like fingerprints, not like we get lumped into categories, right? And by the way, like Invisible Bead Extensions is one of the most interesting e-commerce businesses I think that are using Shoplift today. It's a really fascinating business model that I'm really excited to talk about.
Yes.
So when you have all these different parameters, right? Different customers, different value prop, different design, different product, different everything, right? Your testing strategies, there's no way they can be one size fits all if things that work for one business do not work for another business. And so we spend a lot of time helping brands figure out what to test and what the highest impact are going to be. That's kind of the promise of Lift Assist, by the way. But like clearly, you know, we've got just to like pull a few examples from my head, but like Liquid Death, the canned water company, they're a brand's brand, right? And they're like bread and butter is their wholesale business, and they're selling through brick and mortar. But they have a website that uses Shoplift to do conversion rate optimization, A/B testing. So like if you're Liquid Death, you probably don't care about like increasing average order value by 10%, right? They actually use Shoplift to kind of explore the engagement metrics on their site. It's almost like a brand. Their website's a little bit like a brand playground. But if I took that idea to, you know, Jasmine's team or to some a different store that's like bread and butter DTC e-commerce and said, hey, forget about all these actual conversion metrics. Like what you really care about is like bounce rate and session time and engagement metrics. You're going to look at me sideways and you're going to be like, why are you proposing to me that like making money and converting visitors is not existentially important to my business? So that's kind of what I mean by like, depending on who you are as a brand, that drives how you think about what metrics you want to optimize for. Shoplift is just sort of sitting in the background saying like, depending on which metric you care about, we will help you test that and much more. But you need to decide what's important for your business.
So one more thing that I want your thoughts on before we move to some real examples. So I was having a conversation with someone, and you know, let's call it the industry standard in e-commerce, the conversion rates around, I don't know, 2 to 3%, let's say, right? And they were like, how can we accept this? It's so poor. So like from your standpoint and what you said, maybe you don't know or you don't want to comment on this, but like using a tool like yours, do you see that automatically like hitting a certain threshold on average? Or is that just like the norm, even if you do conversion rate optimization? Do you know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. Benchmarks are both like a blessing and a curse, right? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, industry standard is this conversion rate. We're doing this. Are we really good? Are we really bad? Like, how do I think about that? I was talking to an e-commerce leader at a really popular footwear company, and he said, we have this like pillar product that has a lot of repeat buyers, and historically, this product detail page has always converted at about 1.5%, and right now it's converting at 1%, and we're trying to figure out what is going on. Right?
Yeah.
And this is like a really classic example. And so we just cracked, like I said, okay, let's just, before we even run any tests, let's just like try to like hypothesize what is going
Yeah.
on, right? And so what we actually did is we used this really useful free tool called the Wayback Machine. It's like
Yep.
and I said, I want to look at like a version of this detail page from a year ago, and then I want to see what it looks like today, and let's just compare them. And there were a couple of things that jumped out at me, right? One was they had changed their sizing. They used to call their sizes like small, medium, large, extra large, and then they like changed to numerical sizing. And I
Oh,
was like, hey man, you got a lot of repeat customers who are looking for their mediums, and they come to this page and they're like, wait, I'm between a 6.5 and a 7.5. And they just are that's like too much. Like,
too much to think about. Lots of friction there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other
Right
really
away, just thinking about it, but go ahead.
The other really interesting thing that they had done is they were running, at the time that their page conversion rate went down, they were running this big sale. So it was like a big red banner across the page that talked about the sale that was running for the brand overall.
Okay.
And I was like, I know you see this, right? Like there's a big red banner here and there's not one here. And so like the temptation might be, well, of course, like that banner is just like stealing visitors from this page.
Oh,
and
wow.
and then not buying these shoes, right? But I said, hold on a second, before you go and recommend to your leaders to remove this banner because it's hurting conversion rate of this page, it's back to the goals conversation, right? Like, what are you trying to do as a business? And in this case, the goals of that business were to increase revenue per visitor. And I was like, listen, maybe you're not going to sell these $29 pair of shoes to the folks who click on this banner. But if the average cart size of the person who goes and engages with the sale, they load up 5 items in their cart, they're spending $200 with your brand. Maybe they forget about the $29 shoes, but this is actually working in practice for your business. Like you can actually measure that, right? You can run an A/B test and just compare revenue per visitor of all visitors to your site, remove the banner versus keep the banner, and see it up overall business level, what is happening to this brand. And so then you can make a data-driven decision or recommendation to your leaders about, hey, is this banner helping or hurting our business? Not just the conversion rate of this page that I care about, right? Like,
Yeah.
The whole picture. Yeah. Smart. Yeah. I love that.
Cool.
Very smart. Well, thank you for answering that. I know it's a tricky question, and I'm sure there's so many ways to answer it. Okay, so let's dive into some examples for IB. But Jasmine, before we kind of talk about these in detail, I'd love to get your take, as a leader, on why you were so keen on doing CRO. Like, obviously, we all want to increase revenue, but like, not everyone fully gets it. Like, Nick kind of like set us up for the stage in the beginning that like some people really doubt it, right, or don't want to invest time and money, but you were like very strongly opinionated that you wanted to do this. So we'd love to hear your thoughts about, why you wanted to do CRO and what made you inspired to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the conversations that I've had with Shero and with Candy. And here's why. I have a little bit of a background where when I came to Invisible Beat Extensions, like we were not running any CRO on our Shopify site. Like it was just running status quo. I actually went over in the sister brand that I mentioned earlier, Goldilocks, that Mackenzie Turley founded. She created these 2 brands. I was at Invisible Beat Extensions and I moved over to kind of run both of them, which I don't recommend, by the way. But I had a really great time running Goldilocks. And so what Goldilocks is a hair care brand. They have supplements and hair care products, and they have both a D2C and a B2B play. They're on Shopify Plus, and they're running these 2 stores. And so where I actually got introduced to the concept was at Goldilocks. And so we were running these tests there. And it was really cool to see how these very simple menu changes and these very simple moving these things around the PDP made such a huge difference in the conversions. And I'm like, why are we not doing that at IBE? And so last year, when I just was kind of looking, I knew that we needed to make a change with our agency partners and just I was really attracted to finding agency partners that had taken businesses to the next level. I feel like we were at a plateau kind of season last year. And so when I met with Shero and Candy and really you guys sunk your heels into Shopify, and that's exactly what I was looking for. Like, I want to know what we can do to optimize the store. I mean, we have a crazy return rate, crazy AOV. I mean, it's incredible. We create these stylists here who come in for education, and then it's just a really great business model. Again, I didn't create it, but I believe in it wholeheartedly because we teach them how to install hair extensions, and then they come back to purchase the hair extensions from our store. And it is a product that they continuously need to serve their clients. We provide business education to grow their business behind the chair, which then turns into more customers for them, which then grows the AOV for us over here. So it's just really this beautiful cycle of revenue, I would say. And so it was important to me because I felt like it was a playground that we were not optimizing at all. There were no tests being run. I'm like, how do I know which picture will work or what reviews will look like or where we should put certain things on the description? Like, I have is absolutely zero testing. And so what attracted me to testing it in general was obviously the A/B test. Like, to your point, Nick, let's not just say what feels good or what sounds good or what looks good. Let's test it and let the data run. And the fact that Shoplift is just running in the background, like Candy will come and hey, let's do this test. This is what I'm thinking. And I'm like, brilliant. That makes so much sense. Let's run that. I don't even have to think about it until the results come back. I'm just going to let it do its thing. And then results are here. And then we make a decision. I mean, it is single-handedly the easiest way to optimize for our site, increase conversions, obviously, and grow revenue. I mean, everybody wants to do that.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, no brainer.
Yeah. It was just like, money was on the table.
Yeah.
Why are we not taking it?
Yeah.
First of all, Jasmine, you're hired. Second of all,
you're like, salesperson, here we go.
Just take my testimonial.
I love this like concept of the dollars are there. You just got to pick them up, right? Like, we, as marketers, we spend so much time like optimizing our ad channels, spend so much time in like a meta ads manager or what have you, picking up these pennies off the floor of these ad funnels when there's literal dollars, wads of dollars just sitting on the floor of your Shopify store. And we've typically stayed away from these because A/B testing is scary and uncertain, and some tests could lose, but like, there's so much opportunity there. So kudos to you guys for rolling up your sleeves and not being afraid to learn.
No, that's one thing that I think it's crucial to business. You have to be willing to learn and be willing to be aware of what you don't know and go after it. I mean, that's, I think, why I've ended up here where I'm at, because I never stopped asking questions. And my favorite thing is, that's how we've always done it. If I could wear that in a shirt with a giant X on it, is like literally what I would do, because I don't care if that's how we've always done it. How do we know? How do we know that that's the best way? Just because we've always done it that way. And so that was really huge for me with CRO and our site, and seeing how, because what's happening is, again, we have our education kind of information and blogs on WordPress, and then we've got our shop site for our product that we sell on Shopify, and then we've got a separate LMS, and so our tech stack is literally all over the place. But I'm so excited to bring our conversion pages on WordPress to entice stylists to buy education, to sign up for our program, to take continuing education. Like, I cannot wait to get that over here into Shopify so we can test those pages. Because I'm like, I want to know what is going to make someone buy a $3,000 course. I mean, there's so many things that we can do. So I'm pumped. I mean, we were just talking about our year roadmap, and we're all in alignment. Like, I've got to bring those conversion pages over to Shoplift, and it will be very cool to see, because I think that on Shopify, I guess I don't know, because I don't know all the stores that are out on Shopify, but what we're doing for education, I mean, they're pretty high ticket education courses, you know. Our
Yeah.
initial course is $4,200. We have 4 continuing education courses that are $3,000. And so you're talking hefty investments into education that our stylists are making. And again, I'm blind right now because I've never optimized the conversion page for these courses. So I don't know. And so I can't wait to get it over and experience Shoplit for these pages too. It'll be very telling.
Well,
I
we
feel
can
like.
definitely help you with that, Jasmine.
Yeah, no, you are. I appreciate it so much.
So just to kind of bring it back for the tests that we do want to show that we have run, obviously we've run a lot of tests, but we just wanted to highlight 2, and just to like set the stage here. When we kind of took on the site, Jasmine, you mentioned like we dove right in. So like we audited the site, we did some heat mapping, we, gathered some data, right? Just so we could see what people were doing, generally speaking, and just see what the site, how it's set up from a user standpoint, like what are the best practices that maybe aren't being done. So like some of the information that we gathered helped us create some of these tests. And as we gather more data, obviously we're revising. So one of this test in particular, from the recordings that we captured, we saw when people landed on the product page, they were just they were like scrolling down a lot. So that observation made us wonder why. And then with working you and with your team, we've realized they were looking for the reviews, the credibility, all of that great information that reviews provide people. They were just like going right past the purchase, going looking for that. And so in this test, we tested if we move the reviews to the top of the page, could they convert at a higher rate? Which we saw some great results. But Jasmine, do you want to add anything to this particular test before I show the results?
Yeah, no, I mean, this is one of those kind of, because we've been so B2B, right? Like the only people who can access this hair are licensed cosmetologists who have taken our program. So we're like niche. Like it's not even just licensed cosmetologists, like they have to also be doing extensions and also take our program. And so I think, again, some of these best e-commerce practices weren't really translated
Right.
over to us because we were just like, well, they're our customers. Like we know them by name, we only have so many.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they know that we have really great hair. But to your point, they need to see, we also have so many variants. I mean, the variety of what we offer. I mean, you look at this color right here, you would say that, I mean, Nick, I would just love to know, how would you describe this color?
Man, you really put me on the spot.
I know. I know. It's like, it's brown with some light pieces, right? You know
Sure.
how many versions we have of this? Like probably 12, So everybody's like, well, what's the difference between this one and that one? And so having these reviews is, again, it's a best e-commerce practice that we weren't bringing over because we were so like narrowed in B2B. Oh, they know what this is. They know what they need. Well, maybe they don't. Maybe they need to see what other people thought about it.
Yeah. I love that.
Social proof is so valuable, right? We're conditioned to like sort of build this trust off platform on social media through your education, right? And then when you get to the Shopify store, a lot of times the like checkout or like the purchase experience just feels very impersonal by comparison, right? It's like, oh, I see an influencer or a model or just a real person using this product on social media, and then I get to the store and it's just very, I don't know what the word is, like platonic almost, right? And
Yes.
it's like, I want that same experience that I had off platform to translate into I want to feel good about this purchase. So we're getting like UGC and all these just trust signals are like some of the most popular tests that we see run.
Interesting. Okay, so the results from that test, we can see that, we had over 6,000 visitors on the original, pretty similar to the variant. However, we saw the add to cart increase by over 7%. So that was pretty effective. And I think, just going back to kind of some of the comments you both had, I think users are just so trained at this point to want reviews. Besides like trying to figure out if it's the right color for you. Like Amazon obviously drove that whole experience of wanting reviews, and it's evolved so much from there. But great results. And I know it's kind of hard to tell because of the image it shows in this test result, but again, it goes back to the example we were just showing with adding the reviews to the top. So great results there. And, you know, it said probability to win is 84%. And then we, you know, implemented this because it saw such good results, which was very easy to change. Cool. So one more example. And this one is around on mobile, users were kind of struggling on navigating and finding the products that they wanted. So on the homepage, I believe you had the collections further down on the page, but people were like scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So
Yep.
we were like, why are we making them work so hard and creating all that friction? And we decided to test if adding the collections above, right below the hero image helped improve conversion. So, you know, it seems really simple, but it worked, right? We saw that the conversion increased by over 14%, which is crazy and amazing because people really wanted to navigate without the hamburger and trying to figure out, they wanted the image, you know, images are appealing for people. It's quick and easy on your mobile. But love this example. I don't know, Jasmine, do you have anything you want to share from your
Yeah. No, I mean, another one of those points when we were redesigning the homepage here, we've been through so much growth. I'm over here thinking like when by the time you guys came in to support us, like, this homepage was not very old. You know, it was pretty new because gosh, I don't even remember what it was before, but it was much worse than the version that you saw. But we kind of, again, we just kind of threw rice at the wall to see what would stick on what we thought the customers would want to know. And so where this page kind of felt like a selling page where we're trying to entice them to shop our collections. And so we had, you know, data points on what's inside of our store. Why should you shop here? You know, all this kind of information that was here. It'd be kind of almost cool to see what it was before, maybe anyway. But that's what it was. It was just like you had to scroll too much to get through kind of us selling you on why you should be here and not counting on the fact that they were coming here just ready to shop. And so to the point, it's like, why are we making them work harder? They've already landed here. We know why they're here. They're not here to buy shoes. They're here to buy hair. So let's let them shop the hair as fast as possible. And so that was a really fun. I was so happy when Candy suggested to do that before Black Friday because we had a killer Black Friday. Like,
love to hear that.
I mean, just between what the offers were, which is, you know, huge. You want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward with offers on Black Friday, but also optimizing our homepage before that. It was a great call. Great call.
Awesome. Yeah, so those were the, you know, again, we're running tests still. We've run other tests, but these were the ones that stood out just to give everybody like a little flavor of what it looked like for IB and using Shoplift and how effective it was and just seeing how simple it is to make decisions from the reports. And these aren't necessarily like life-altering changes. They're minor tweaks in most cases that you're just like, duh, like, why didn't I think of that sooner? Right.
Totally.
So I hope everybody, you know, sees that. And, you know, again, those changes might not like work the same way for your business. So I still think there's a lot of value to testing, to Nick's point from talking earlier. Like I've seen people where they're like, oh, I heard this increases conversion, so I'm just going to go do this thing. But like, that's kind of a slippery slope, right? Like you need to test and see what works for your brand, your experience, what your customers expect. There are definitely standards for sure that you can lean on, but I wouldn't like say there's like a line in the sand, so to speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're getting close to the end here altogether. So sad that we're gonna have to say goodbye soon. But before we wrap up, I would love to get some final thoughts, any tips that you have for anyone thinking about conversion rate optimization in this year or for the future. I definitely think from my experience that you can't, you have to experiment and try. It's better to fail and learn from it. And obviously Shoplift is a great tool to help you do that. But I don't know, Nick, do you have any thoughts that you want to share with everybody that's joined us today?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I could say this till I'm blue in the face, but don't be intimidated. It really, we're here. We exist because we're making it easy to run these high impact tests. And you're never going to learn if you don't get started testing. So just get started. We got a 14-day free trial, got an incredible support team. We've got an incredible network of partners, including Shero Commerce. So if you need a strategy lead to help you, figure this stuff out and how it fits into all the other aspects of your strategy, definitely hit up Beth and her team. And yeah, just get started. And we hope you get started with us.
Yeah, awesome. It's like that saying where it's hard to start when the paper is blank, right? But you're not starting blank with Shoplift. It's helping you get there.
We're also hired, Beth. Thank you.
What about you, Jasmine? I'm curious from your standpoint, what would you recommend to other business owners about conversion rate optimization?
I mean, I just echo Nick. It just always be testing. I just think that in everything that you're doing, you've got to test. I don't even know that I can elaborate more than that because there's so many buckets that you can put that in. And obviously we're here on CRO, but it's the same thing with email. It's the same thing with offers. It's the same thing with marketing. Like you cannot push forward unless you're testing, because if you're not trying to grow, you will end up declining. Like nobody just stays
100%.
at a plateau. Like you have to be striving for more in order for you to grow. Otherwise it just does this.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're not growing, you're dying, they say, right?
100%. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sad.
But yeah. Always be testing.
Always be testing. I like that. Okay. Well, this has been a great conversation. I really appreciate you both for joining and, taking time out of your busy lives. So I think we can wrap up today. I have just a couple of closing remarks, but thank you so much for joining and really appreciate everything you had to contribute. And I hope everybody that was able to listen in took away some great information from Jasmine and Nick. And if you have questions for them or want to learn more about Shoplift, feel free to reach out to Nick and Jasmine and we can call it a day.
Thank you so much, Beth, for having us on.
Yeah, happy Women's History Month. It's been really great being on with a couple of fantastic women's business owners. I'm married to a fantastic woman in business. So yeah.
Love that. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. So we're just going to let Nick and Jasmine hop out. Thank you again, everybody, for joining. I hope you got some little nuggets there to take away with your day. And if not, at least you can chew on it, kind of think about how you can get started with CRO. There's a lot to do there and it can really benefit your business. So great topic. Happy that you joined. Next month, we're at a bunch of events, so we'll be posting about that, and we'll have our next live next month, and really appreciate you all for being here. I hope you have a great day. I'm Beth Shero. Always be learning.